Okay. Happy day, as my dad used to say. Welcome to class. Sorry about the delay. Had a little technical difficulty, which thankfully we've only run into that a few times in this platform. So that's great. I'm happy to be here with you. And if you're watching this in the future, I'm happy to be with you in the future. So we're going to tap into our practice today per usual by beginning in a comfortable cross-legged position, closing the eyes and starting to tap in to the breath, switching our hat. Big inhales down into the belly. Long, slow exhales. Take a moment to notice how the breath feels today. Whether it's coming easy and naturally and deep, or you're working a little harder to maintain or cultivate the breath. Noticing any sensations or sounds around you, and choosing to turn the focus back inward. If it feels right, or if you are having thoughts coming in that you're maybe either resonating with or having a little bit of difficulty letting go, feel free to take our last few minutes here in meditation to actively set an intention for your practice. It can be something small, like I choose to be mindful. I choose to be present for my practice. Or maybe it's a little bit bigger or more external. Dedicating your practice to something bigger than yourself. Once you've chosen your intention, let's use the last minute to do a body scan, noticing all the points that are touching the earth, the outside of our feet, pinky toe, maybe the outside of the ankles, the sits bones, the tail, rooting down to the earth so that we can sit up nice and tall through the spine. You feel the belly soft, shoulders right above the hips. Earlobes in line with the shoulders, but keeping their distance. Chest is soft but open. Let's take 3 more breath cycles here. Full inhale and full exhales. Nice and slow and long. One more. And after your last exhale, gently open the eyes. Left foot is going to stay right at the midline, heel to pelvis, as the right leg comes out long at an angle. Right toes are pointing up to the sky. We're rooted down through the right heel, the top of the right thigh. Left toes are curled or pulled, up towards the shin, protecting the knee, but also finding stability here in the side body. So we sit up nice and tall. Right hand comes either to the inner thigh, right on the ground, outside of the thigh, or if you have the range for it and want to drop the forearm down by the shin, palm facing down. We inhale, left arm comes up, pointed right up at the ceiling. Maybe you look up at your hand, noticing the expanse in the chest, or the shoulder blades pulled together. Stay here if this feels enough for you today. Or on your exhale, we'll drop left fingers over towards right toes. Chest stays open through the midline. Gaze is forward. Neck is neutral. Right knee is active as we press down through the upper thigh. We're here for 2 more breath cycles, sending the breath down into the left low back. The right hamstring. Exhale draws us up through the midline. Right leg comes straight out in front of us. So we square off. Right ankle is in line with the right knee, which is in line with the right hip. We take the left ankle up and over the top of the right thigh. If this feels good for you here, then stay here. If you're feeling like you need a little more support, you can hook the inner left elbow around that left knee, maybe bringing the right inner elbow around the right foot, and just cradle the left shin like a baby. Giving a little bit more support in the knee and the left hip. We're still pressed down firmly through the right heel, the upper right thigh. As we inhale to sit up nice and tall, exhale, we're folding nose drops towards the right knee. Either with your cradled leg, or if the left leg is free supported, you can always reach the hands around the sole of the right foot. Bending from the hip, we tug that right femur back into the hip socket. Stay for your next inhale. Exhale, we slowly roll back up to a seated position. Left foot is going to drop sole of the foot down to the ground right on the outside of the right knee. Left toes are pointing out in front of us. We bend the right leg, drawing the right heel right underneath the left glute. and adjust until your seated twist feels comfortable. Right inner elbow is going to hook on the left knee as we shift the belly button towards the left thigh. Left hand drops behind us in space as we find our twist. Sending the breath down into the belly. We feel this healthy compression on the inner left groin. This nice, gentle stretch on the outside of the left hip. This ringing and twisting and warming up of the spinal fluid. Shoulder blades draw together to open the chest, and we really experience a full body sensation. One more breath cycle here. Full inhale, full exhale. Stay for the inhale. Exhale draws you back through center as we gently unravel. So you can either straighten the right leg out first and then bring the left out back to its neutral position, or take the left over the right first and unravel that way. Right heels turn to come to the midline. Heel to pelvis, left leg shoots out long at an angle. We find our hand placement as we tug that left femur back into the socket, bending from the hip and inhaling, right arm up to the ceiling. Stay here if this is enough for you. Otherwise, on your next exhale, we'll drop right fingers over towards left toes. Keeping the chest open through the midline, neck stays neutral and long. We're sending the breath to that right side body, right lower back. Two more breath cycles here. Full inhale, full exhale. Maybe you find a little more room in the side body as you extend the right fingers closer to the left toes. Or maybe not. Don't push past your limit. Stay for your next inhale. Exhale draws you back up through center, nice and slowly, as we draw the left ankle in line with the left hip. Right foot comes up over the thigh, right above the left knee. If this feels comfortable and stable, we'll stay here, sitting up nice and tall. If you want a little more support, we'll find that cradle for our leg baby. We sit up nice and tall. On the inhale, exhale, we're folding from the hips. Nose drops towards the left knee. Left toes are drawn back towards the shin or your face. Waking up the hamstring. Of course, if you're not using your arm supports around your right shin, we can bring the hands to the sole of the left foot. Stay for one more inhale. Exhale, belly button draws back to spine as we slowly come back to a seated position. We drop the right foot down to the ground, right next to the outside of the left knee, as we draw the left heel to the right glute. Left elbow hooks to right knee and we find our twist, bringing the right arm behind us in space, right behind the right butt cheek. Belly button draws towards the thigh. You need a little bit more of a deeper twist. You can always bring the outside of the left shoulder to the outside of the right knee and find your twist that way. Chest is open. Aiming to keep both glutes pinned to the mat. Left toes are nice and active. Stay for one more inhale. Exhale slowly. We unravel back to center. We're going to take the right leg over the left, bringing knee to knee so that we're sitting in kind of this like cute side body sit here, only to come up onto the wrists, the knees, into our tabletop position so that we can dip right into our cat cow. So we inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. When we're here, press away from the yoga mat. So we're not dumping our weight here into our shoulders, but instead lifting away from the mat, stabilizing the joints. We're doing the same thing in our feet. So we're pressing into the tops of the feet, lifting the tail. Exhale, we round through, drawing the tail towards the midline, belly button to nose, tail to belly button, crown drops down to the earth. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale, we round through. So first here, we're engaging the abdomen, drawing the spine, the tail that way. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale, round through. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale, round through. This time we're coming back into tabletop only to find some organic movement as you maybe bump hips to one side, rocking through the midline, letting the hips fall to the other side. So maybe creating a figure 8 shape with the body. Maybe some hip circles. Just finding what feels natural. And we'll move for one more breath cycle and meet back together in tabletop. Big toes are going to come together, knees as wide as the yoga mat. As we sink the hips back onto the heels, we're going to walk the hands out slightly in space. We're not going all the way down yet. So we're here, so we've got this slope from the shoulder all the way to the tops of the fingers. Left hand, we're going to spread the fingers nice and wide as you can. Being really mindful of all 5 fingertips or all the fingertips that you have available to you, touching the mat. We look forward and we're going to first thread the needle before we drop down into child's pose. So right hand comes underneath the left armpit. This time we're going to keep palm face down. So normally we have palm face up. It's a little bit more passive. Palm face down. As we tuck the chin on the outside of the right arm, sending the forehead down towards the mat. So you're going to have limited more limited range here than we do in our typical thread the needle or the thread the needle that you're used to. And that's okay. This is aiming more to hit the outside of the right shoulder, the shoulder blade, right up in that space where the shoulder blade connects to the spine, the top of the thoracic spine. One more breath here. Exhale, gently we'll rise using our right hand and slowly pulling the right hand out to meet the left as we take it to the other side. Of course, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can move into our traditional thread the needle pose. So don't feel that you have to do this way. Left hand comes underneath right armpit, palm face down. As we start to drop the forehead towards the mat, noticing how it feels different on this side. Even for me, I have such a huge difference in range of motion on this side because of a previous injury on my right side. So just all these little things that our body tells us to support its own needs. One more inhale, exhale. We gently rise using the right hand to support us as we draw the left hand out to meet the right. Let's drop the belly, chest, and forehead down to the mat just for 2 breath cycles here in extended child's pose. Big inhale. Long, slow exhale out through the nose or mouth, whatever you're comfortable with. Last one, big inhale. Long exhale. Take your inhale. Exhale, we press into the tops of the feet, claw through the fingertips. We rise back up to tabletop, drawing the knees under us, curling the toes under. We stay for the inhale. On the exhale, hips are going up high for downward facing dog. So we check our alignment when we get here, noticing where we may be tense or tight. Maybe it's in the low back, maybe it's in the hamstring, so adjust accordingly. Maybe that means bending the knees. Maybe that means widening your stance. Maybe it means widening your hand stance. Just like we did in our cat-cow, we're pressing away from the yoga mat in our hands, lifting out of the shoulder joints. When you do that, you'll feel the shoulder blades widening across the back. Stay for one more inhale. Exhale, we make our way to the top of the mat, maybe crisscross walk today. Exaggerating that stretch in the hamstrings. Maybe just taking slow, mindful steps. Maybe a hop is in your practice and you incorporate that today. And we'll meet together in a forward fold. Feel free to bend the knees here. Maybe we take some gentle sways, clasping opposite elbow. Really letting the neck The cervical spine, release that pressure. Maybe you shake the head yes and no. So most all of you, I believe, work at a computer. And if you don't work on a computer, you most certainly have a smartphone. If you don't have one of those, Dad, maybe you are doing a lot of driving or manual labor where you're experiencing symptoms of what we now call tech neck. So the idea behind tech neck is that for every inch forward, we hold our head. So i.e. when we are looking down at our computer or down at our phone, we're rounding through the shoulders and the head sits forward. We add an additional 8 to 10 pounds of pressure onto our spine. And you can only imagine over time what that does. So having these gentle inversions like forward fold, really wonderful for releasing that pressure. Okay, I know we've been here for a minute. So inhale, exhale. We're doing really slow roll up to mountain because we were inverted for so long. Arms are coming with us up overhead, nice and slow and gentle. Palms kiss together. Let's look up at our palms. Stay for the inhale, dropping the shoulders down away from the ears. Exhale, let the palms descend right to the heart space. Maybe you take a moment to adjust anything, any items of clothing, hair in your face, if you feel that that's necessary, or we take a moment to be a little still. You're very tight in the neck today. Now would be a great time to incorporate some neck rolls. Rocking one ear to one shoulder and half circle through the midline. Chin stays tucked to the chest until you roll shoulder onto the other ear. Ear onto the other shoulder. Thank you. You are doing some neck rolls and find a moment of stillness together as we take the last several minutes to work through some flows. So arms are going to go down to come up on the inhale. Exhale, we fold or in a swan dive. So we flip palms externally facing away from us. Hands come nice and wide into a V as we fold down into our forward fold. Inhale lifts us up halfway. Exhale, we fold and come down to the mat. We make our way to plank. We're in plank. Feet are as wide as the hips. We're going to drop both heels over to the right. So toes are now pointing out to the left. We press into the right hand and lift left hand up to the sky. Using your breath to stabilize you. Abs are engaged. We're here for one more breath. And on the exhale, left hand is reaching, bicep by the ear, hand towards the front of the mat before we round through, coming back to our plank. You know that we're doing this on the other side. So heels go over to the left, toes point over to the right. Weight drops into our left hand as we open and reach right hand up to the sky. We're using the abdomen to lift the hips Legs are strong. We're lifting out of the shoulder joint by pressing into the fingertips. One more inhale. Exhale, right hand comes towards the front of the mat, bicep by the ear. Before we round back to our plank, we inhale to shift forward, exhale, lower all the way down. Feet flip, inhale, exhale, elbows stay tight to the side body, hands are right underneath the shoulders. As we lift, pressing into the hands, rising up into cobra. Exhale, fold. Feel free to do baby cobra instead of a full cobra here. Inhale. Exhale. Cobra or baby cobra. Head is the last thing to rise. Let's stay for a breath cycle. And on the exhale, we fold. One more time. Finding your cobra or baby cobra that works for you today. Exhale. Fold. Toes curl under, kissing towards the mat. We shoot the pinky all the way down to the earth. Inhale. Exhale. Power back up to plank, or you can always come into half plank. Exhale. We're going hips up high, downward facing dog. We stay for one breath cycle. Stay for your next inhale. Exhale, right leg lifts up high, three-legged dog. Exhale, we step the right foot up in between the hands. We find ourselves in lunge. And we stay here, breathing into the front of that left hip. Stabilizing through the front foot. Front knee is over ankle. Chest is open, gaze is forward, we're light on the fingertips. You can always drop the back knee if that feels better for you today. Left hand comes right next to the right arch as we swing, right arm externally opening up to the ceiling. Exhale, right hand replaces left as we open left arm up to the ceiling. Exhale, left hand replaces right as we frame both hands against the right foot. Exhale, we press into the right foot, the front foot, and rise up to high lunge. Adjusting when you get there. Maybe your stance is too wide or too short. Biceps are by the ears. We draw the shoulder blades together and then drop the shoulder blades down the back. Hands, palms are facing each other. Back heel is spiking towards the back edge of the mat. We're squeezing the inner thighs together towards the midline to find stability. Inhale, maybe we look up. Maybe we widen the hands like we're doing the YMCA. Okay, inhale. Exhale, we pivot on the back foot, opening up, warrior two. Front heel is in line with the back arch. Pelvis is right underneath the heart space. Wrists are in line with the shoulders. Chest is open. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, We're coming back into warrior two, just as a transition as we straighten that front leg. We bump the hips back, dropping the front hand towards the front leg shin. Back arm reaches up towards the sky. Trikonasana, triangle. One more inhale. Exhale, we give a little buoyancy in that front knee as we rise back up to warrior two for one breath. Exhale, we pivot, windmilling the hands down to the mat. Hands come down to frame the right foot. We move from the hip, from the pelvic, or from the abdomen. There we go. Drawing the right foot back to meet the left. Find ourselves in plank. Hips go up high on the exhale. Downward facing dog. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, left leg lifts up high, three-legged dog. Exhale, we step left foot up in between the hands, finding ourselves in lunge. Adjust as needed, and then we send the breath down to the front of the right hip. We're pressing into the left foot, the sole of the left foot, our triangle, our inverted triangle, so that we are supporting the joints in the ankles, the knee, the left hip, so we're not dumping weight into one side. We're tugging bone into joint and hugging muscle to bone. Exhale, right hand drops right next to the left arch as we inhale, lifting left arm up to the ceiling. Exhale, left hand replaces the right as we open right arm up to the ceiling. Oh yeah. Still pressing into that left foot for stability. Exhale, right hand drops and replaces left as we square the hands back off around the left foot. We inhale, exhale, powering up into our high lunge, adjusting your stance as needed. Maybe you inhale to grow tall, coming up off that hip, maybe just for a moment, and then settling back down into your high lunge. Biceps are by the ears. We're still inhaling deep down into the belly. Thighs are squeezing towards the midline. Maybe we widen the hands, wide V. Maybe you open the chest, chin lifts up to the sky, giving a slight back bend. Exhale, we pivot on the back foot, opening up to warrior two. We're pressing into the outside of the back foot, lifting from that back arch up through the midline, up through the inner thigh. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, extended side angle, your version. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior two as a transition as we straighten that front leg. Oh yeah. Bump the hips back. We drop the right hand to the front shin. Back arm lifts up to the sky. Chest is open. Gaze can be straight up, neutral, or face down, up to you. Any prior neck injuries or surgeries will keep the gaze straight out. Exhale, give a little buoyancy in that front knee. As we come back to warrior two as a transition before windmilling. Back down, Left foot comes back to meet the right as we send the hips up high for downward facing dog. We're here for 2 breaths. Stay for your next inhale. Exhale, we're taking it up. Whew, feet to meet the hands, forward fold for 1 inhale. Exhale, rolls you up to mountain, arms come with us up overhead, palms kiss together, descend at the heart space. Here we go. 1 more round. We're going to pick up the pace just to stay within our time frames here. Arms go down and come up on the inhale. Palms flip externally. We swan dive into our forward fold. Inhale lifts you up halfway, figure 7. Exhale, fold. Hands come down to the mat. Left foot back, right foot back. Find your way into plank. We find our breath and then drop heels over to the right. Toes come over to the left as we shift the weight into that right hand and open. Left fingers up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bicep by the ear, fingers reach out towards the front of the mat before we rotate back into our plank with control. Dropping both heels over to the left, toes towards the right as we open right hand up towards the ceiling. Pressing firmly into the pads of each finger on the left hand. Exhale, bicep by the ear, fingers out towards the front of the mat. Ooh, yes, side body stretch before rotating back to plank, hips up high, downward facing dog. Excuse me. Inhale, right leg kicks up high. 3-legged dog. Exhale. Ooh, step it up, we're in lunge. Inhale. Exhale, we power up. High lunge, biceps by the ears, maybe taking a wide V with the hands, maybe even a slight back bend. We inhale to grow tall. Exhale, we pivot, opening up to warrior 2, finding a little grace. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, extended side angle, your version. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior 2 as a transition as we straighten that front leg, bump the hips back. Drop the right arm towards the right shin. Back arm reaches up to the sky, Trikonasana. If it's in your practice to drop that hand all the way down by the arch, that's great. Exhale, buoyancy in the right foot as we shift back to warrior 2. For the inhale, exhale, we pivot to rotating on the back foot, windmilling the arms to frame the right foot. Right foot comes back to meet the left, hips up high, downward facing dog. Last bit, here we go. Inhale, left leg lifts up high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, we step it up in between the hands. We're in lunge. Inhale, exhale, we lift. Pressing into the front foot, high lunge. Maybe we open arms nice and wide. Run the shoulder blades together and then down the back body. Exhale, we pivot on the back foot, opening up, warrior 2. Shoulder blades again, drop together and down the back body. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior 2 as a transition as we straighten that front leg, bump the hips back, front arm drops to front shin, back arms up towards the sky. Again, shoulder blades together, and then down the back body. Exhale, buoyancy in that front knee as we come back to warrior 2 just for the inhale. Exhale, we pivot. Hands come to frame the foot. We draw the left foot back to meet the right. Stay for the inhale and downward facing dog. Exhale sends you up. Feet to hands, root to rise. We roll up to mountain. Arms come with us, up overhead, palms kiss together. Fingers are nice and wide as we drop the thumbs right to the heart space, Undulate Mudra. Go ahead and close the eyes. Deep inhale through the nose. As we drop the chin towards the chest. Noticing how you feel. Noticing any areas that are shaky, soft, fluid, tense. I would encourage you to stay in this standing meditation posture for as long as your practice will allow today. If that means coming back to this later, so be it. And if you don't have time for a Shavasana today, that's okay. Thank you for practicing with me today. Drink lots of water, maybe some light stretching or meditation before bed. And I will see you next time.